Alright guys, this is your boy JV, and today I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks on like your loadout, how to like select how your gun to be and customize your character a lot more than what some people even know is available, it seems to be. I know the map can be a little tricky, some people kind of get lost here where to go. So when you load in, you're in the main hall, you're going to want to walk over to the shooting range, but instead of going left into the range where you can shoot your gun, you want to come into where it says armory. And here on the table, you can click this modify loadout. There are other locations on this map where you can modify loadout. This just makes the most sense because the shooting range is right here, so you can instantly test them out for yourself. Now, I know there's a lot that's on the screen when you come onto here, so it can be a little confusing, so I'm going to try to break it down. Obviously, on this main screen where it says loadout, this is where you can change and customize your character, what you bring into the field. If I were to press RB where it says customization, is how I change how I look. This doesn't actually, for the most part, change anything for the game. There's a couple things that do, but for the most part, it's just cosmetic. There's only 3 areas on here where it changes how the game actually plays a little bit for you, depending on the items, which we'll get to in a sec. Now, if I came in here and I wasn't trying to customize myself, maybe I'm happy with how I am, but I want to change my my AI teammates. If I press RT, it goes from self to, it says red team Alpha, red team Bravo, blue team Charlie, blue team Delta, and then you can change how their loadouts are set up. And then when you're on yourself, it says self. I know that sounds like very obvious, but I'm just pointing it out in case somebody's like, oh, what's the difference? Like I'm getting lost. Something to get lost about. It's you, and then it's your teammates. So when you go to weapons, if I click AR, it will bring me to how that gun is specifically set up. I will say this is kind of the attachments I use on the majority of guns that I enjoy. I'll usually have this exact hollow sight, this exact muzzle brake. I'll always have the underbarrel vertical grip, and depending on the map, when I read the briefing, I'll either run the flashlight or I might put on some type of laser, but it's usually the flashlight. I kind of like how it feels, and it looks a little better too. But it depends on the map and what's going on with my team. Now, when you go down here, depending on what vest you had on, which we'll dive into, will determine how many items you can bring with you onto the map. So like it says 13 out of 13 slots. So if in terms of ammunition, I'm bringing 6 AR mags and I'm bringing 1 sidearm mag. And deployables are like things you can throw, potentially. So like grenades or tactical devices like putting C2 on the wall, on the doors, lockpick guns, pepper spray, taser, wedges, etc., etc. So if you want to bring more of a certain item, you just have to dictate what makes best for your inventory. So like if I'm like, okay, my teammate has flashbangs, let me bring 1 flashbang because he's got like 4 of them, and I'll bring another wedge because wedges are important. Or I'll bring another magazine because I'm terrible at aiming. I'm always using so much ammo. Like, let me bring a 7th mag. Like, that's how you can kind of dictate what you use for your slots. And just, you know, if you're playing with a full amount of teammates, talk about it between you guys, because there's no reason for everyone to have like the same amount of flashbangs and etc. Someone can have gas grenades, someone can have stingers, someone can have C2s, because this just opens up people to bring other things like a lockpick gun, more wedges, etc., etc. So just speak with your team. Now, if I click RT, it brings me the sidearm, which this is just to customize your sidearms. Usually not many attachments you could put on the sidearm. There are a bunch of different ones that are available for you to click, and it's the same thing as before on the bottom, just so you can just see that there. Now, underneath your weapons, it says long tactical. So when I click this, these are the items you can bring into the field. So whether that's bringing a mirror gun to look under walls or around corners, to grenade launchers that shoot stingers, gas, or flashes, a breech shotgun to shotgun out the doors. This is different than bringing a regular shotgun. A regular shotgun won't breach a door for you. Only the breech shotgun will, because it's specifically for that. And then there's the battering ram and a tactical shield. That's how you kind of bring those. And a lot of people saw, I did a video with a tactical shield, and some people were like, oh, like how'd you get your teammates to bring tactical shields and stuff? Now, this is where things can become a little more complicated. So this area says armor and munitions. I click it. There's different versions of your armor that you can put on. So when if I put no armor, right, I literally have no armor. I move the fastest during this time period of having no armor, and but I only have 9 slots of inventory that's available for myself. Wouldn't highly recommend this. Maybe this is like more to like challenge yourself type of thing. Totally up to you. Then there's normal body armor, a stab vest. This offers 15 slots, but obviously you're more openly prone to getting shot. There's not really a lot of coverage here. Now that's why you see like the category says front, back, full, and even the materials, like you don't even have an option. It's just a ceramic stab vest. So it's very light, but you're kind of open to a lot of things to occur to you. Now if I put on light armor, a little more categories open up. I'm covered a little bit more. Right now it's covering front, back. I can make it specifically all the coverage be on the front, or I can do I can't even do full. Sorry, for some reason I thought it just told me I could do full. Or you could do no coverage. Really, it's just for the looks of it. But I would specifically say probably just leave it on front, back. Now there's 3 different types of materials that you can put on. There's Kevlar, there's steel, and ceramic. Ceramic, I believe, is going to be the lightest. It's good against like small armor. I'm sorry, small types of ammunition, whether that's like from, I think it even says here, particularly against pistols and most rifle calibers at the expense of slightly reduced movement acceleration. Once it breaks, the protective reduction against impact is diminished. So like this does not do good over time. And then you have steel, which is high impact, but you're going to be weighed down a lot more. You're not going to be as mobile, but you're going to be a lot more secure. Non-penetrating rounds can cause spall to the user. While it will deal reduced damage, the impact from shatter rounds can still cause injury. So you can still get hurt with this on. But it's going to cover you a little bit more. And then you have Kevlar, which is kind of like, I guess, like in the middle. It doesn't really give up. It doesn't give up too much protection. It doesn't give up too much movement. It's right in the middle between the two of them. I'd probably say like just play some quick play rounds and like just see like if you feel a difference. If you don't care, maybe your team is so good it doesn't even matter what type of what you run. For some reason, I don't know why, but I've been running ceramic. But maybe if you guys use something in particular, let me know why you guys do it down below. I haven't really cared. I'm more so really care about whether I'm doing light armor or if I go to say heavy armor. Heavy armor, which you're covered a lot more, but it does 11 slots versus 13 slots. So it's really based off of like what you're trying to do there, and you have the same options of changing it to steel, Kevlar, ceramic, full, front, back, front coverage. It's totally up to you. Now for headwear, and this is kind of like what I was talking about before, how there's certain customization things that can change for you. So like when you load in, you'll probably look like this. You'll have a helmet, and probably if you have glasses on, you have glasses on, maybe no glasses, see a person's face, right? Now regular helmet only, like this is going to, of course, cover your head a little bit, right? If I were to wear no helmet, I have no coverage, probably a little bit easier for me to get headshotted. What I like to do is there's a thing called the ballistic mask. It's more capable of covering you from small fire and some projectiles a little bit. I think it looks sick. I love running this. Super cool. The only downside, which is what we'll walk into, so there's a thing, it says face wear. Under face wear, you have the option of putting on anti-flash goggles. So if you throw flash grenades out, or if you walk into a flash grenade trap, you don't get flashed. But there's also something called a gas mask. You can't put on the gas mask while having the ballistic mask on. You have to put the helmet on and then put the gas mask on. Why is this important? If you're going for S rank games, you're probably running non-lethal, and if you're running non-lethal ARs, the non-lethal AR shoots out, like there's like gas that comes out of the pellets, and you don't want that to also bother you while bothering the enemy or bothering your teammates who are trying to restrain or trying to maneuver in the areas where you're shooting these things at. So you make sure everyone takes off that ballistic mask so they can put on the gas mask. If you're not running those, you can do anti-flash goggles, or maybe you are going lethal and just like some of your teammates have are going to be using gas grenades and etc. Like, just be aware, speak with your team, just to make sure everyone's set up so no one's upset that they're walking directly into the line of fire with gas all over the place. Now, really cool, you have 2 different types of night vision. You have a mount for it. I just put it on. It doesn't do anything to you to not have it. Just have it. I highly recommend it. I think it's super cool. So there's regular night vision goggles, and then like there's this secondary version. I like the secondary version, and you can switch between green phosphorus and white phosphorus. I like doing the white phosphorus with this. Maybe you like doing the regular night vision goggles. That's totally up to you. Try them out, see what you prefer. I think it's awesome either way. Now, if your teammates, like I said before, I press RT, you can switch between your teammates, Alpha, Bravo, and Red Team, Charlie, and Delta, and Blue Team. And everything you just did to yourself, you could do to them to make sure that they're fully set up. And you can save these. You can make presets, which is cool. That way, like, it's something you can quickly run through. I haven't made a bunch of presets, but I think stock, you do 1, 2, 3, you have 5 that are here, and then you could probably add even more. That way, like, maybe you have S tier clearing, you just save that loadout so you don't have to change this every time, or whatever it is that you really want to name them as. Now, the only other things I will say, I mean, when it comes to like the guns themselves, I like running through the guns and using different ones all the time. Makes it more challenging, makes it more fun, makes it feel more fresh every time I play. I highly recommend, though, on whatever guns you run, to mess around with the sights a little bit, figure out what you like the best. My favorites are the HoloSight EXP S3 and then the 510C. Those are my 2 favorites. I also like the XE sight. If whatever gun you're using has a lot of vertical recoil, I would say on the underbarrel, make sure you put the vertical grip on. And you can I wouldn't put a suppressor, but I mean, you can if you want to. But I usually put on the SFMB brake or the ASR brake. You know, we're walking in, we're trying to go loud. I don't really care about noise. You know what I'm saying? So that's not going to really change things. So I definitely would prefer putting on the muzzle brakes. And usually I'm running a flashlight if it's available on the gun, depending on what map it is and what the mission requires. I might run a laser pointer, but that depends on what's actually happening. So choose whatever gun you want, but make sure you put vertical grip on, and make sure you put it on the single fire. It will make it a lot easier to control your recoil along the way. In terms of like if there's particular guns that I prefer over others, I think my favorites would be the LV AR rifle, the GA 416. I like the MK18. I like the SR16, just to name a couple of ARs. When it comes to the subs, I mean, I've always been a big fan of the MP5A3. I think is great. I like using the MPX. I think the P90 is awesome. I like running the UMP9, which is cool. When it comes to shotguns, I think the Supernova is sick. When you're doing non-lethal, I think the beanbag shotgun is the best. But you could also run the VPL-25. That's the non-lethal AR. I don't really like the non-lethal TPL submachine gun, but maybe somebody else would feel different about that. Let me know. And then you have a couple launchers here, depending on like what your role is. Maybe that's what you run for your team. But that's kind of it, guys. I hope you learned something from this video. Let me know in a comment down below if there's anything you took away from this video, if it helps you at all. And if you guys have any questions or want a video on something in particular in the future, feel free to comment down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. GG's and peace.